This is probably the best LEGO Star Wars battle scene I have ever built, and that includes the one that I built when I was probably like 11 with my AT-AT up there. Yeah, this is pretty insane. But I've wanted to clear out this space so I can maybe do homework or use it for other things, and I thought what better way to just kind of capture every aspect of this than to video it, because trying to take a picture of this, like taking a picture of the board, like that's fine, but to have an entire juggernaut off of the board, it's like, okay, might as well just take a video. So let's because there's a lot going on here. You might be like, dude, what like, okay, lots of droids, lots of bounty hunters and Sith, and like that's fine, but what are the stormtroopers doing there? You might be a little confused, and then if you really pay attention, if you really know Star Wars, you might be confused as to why there are Phase 2 and Phase 1 clone trooper armors in the same scene. And so, aside from the fact that this is just what I've collected over the years, it's just kind of what I've accumulated. Like, this is probably every clone trooper that I own, which, I mean, is pretty lengthy for someone who does not like go out of their way to collect like every type of stormtrooper or every type of clone trooper ever. And like, I'm not like, oh, I have a huge collection or anything. Hello. But I mean, it's also like pretty like relatively small. I don't know. Anyways, let's try and I'm gonna try and justify that. I mean, I already have like an idea of why. Oh wait, hold on. I do have a couple more clone troopers. I have a 212th Battalion trooper who looks really cool, but there's only one of them and I don't know what to do. Also, if you can't tell, I have OCD tendencies, so I have like an orange section, my red section, my green slash camo section, and then I have like a blue and black back here, and then each Jedi follows accordingly. I don't know why. It just really fits. I don't know. Anyways, I'll probably cover that again later. But so the story time. Story time. So what happened here was something along the lines of the battalion in this juggernaut was on like a recon mission. They were on like a heavy duty, like, we need something with firepower just in case we get ambushed recon mission. And it's funny because that's exactly what happened. And so they were like, okay, if we get close enough and it looks a little hairy, but we're fine. Like, I don't know if I can open this. Okay, whatever. Ah! So, but if you know how these Legos work, there's an AT-RT inside of there. Just gonna put this guy back. Sorry. None of these guys except for these three are on like platforms, so all these guys are freestanding. I mean, it even feels like some of these guys are freestanding because, I mean, not only is this board old because it has wood glue on it, because I've glued pieces to this board for my presentation in like the local fair, but their droids, they just don't stand very well, and I don't know why. They're just so easily like tip overable as opposed to these guys, which are, solid. But anyways, those guys are cool. We'll get to them in a little bit. Anyways, so what happened was they were looking for a research facility because they heard that the Separatist army had a base, a hidden base, on a planet that was like relatively like middle of the road, but was occupied by the Republic. So they took a juggernaut and they were going to do a recon mission to see what this base was and what they were doing here, because they had no idea. All they knew was that there was a secret base. I don't know what planet this is on, but it's green. So I don't know. Frickin' Dantooine or something. But anyways, what happened was they crashed. Now, just because I can't like put damage effects onto my juggernaut, I mean, maybe they just crashed into a rock. But what I'd like to think is this big bad boy, who's supposed to only be on a planet that I can't think of right now. But it's where the 212th guy, it's where he came from. but no matter. So it's a separate. It has a separatist logo. It came with some ugly dudes. It's not Utapau. Ugh, it's no God. It's not Utapau. It's not Sullust. It's one of the ones where they had to use masks. Anyway, that's why there's a little bubble. Um, so I'd like to think that this giant, like literal cannon, shot them down. So I mean, here, colorized. Here, we'll do this. It looked like something like this. Boo! So, did I knock anyone over? No, I didn't. Okay. I'd like to think it went something like that. Like a big ol' explosion, boy. Can you... There we go. Doing this one-handed is very strange. Anyways, so they got shot down, they crashed, and they needed all of the resources and, like, reinforcements they could get. So what happened was this bark speeder was following closely along because they had an ATRT, but that kind of wasn't enough. And so this was Obi-Wan Kenobi's bark speeder, and he had a trooper. And so what happened was the cannon shot the Juggernaut and made it crash into this totally realistic wall right here. I don't know. It crashed. And so it's pretty much out of commission. Like the front couple tires are banged up. It can't start. It's stuck, etc., etc. So because this base was so important, that's why there are so many Jedi here. I mean, aside from the fact that I just like to use Jedi because they're freaking awesome, and I have so many Jedi. I mean, I don't even have that many Sith. Like, oh, there's a Savage Opress and Darth Maul with the little legs. He's awesome. And then, I mean, Grievous isn't technically a Sith. That's why I brought the bounty hunters in, is because I'm like, I have so few droids and Sith. Like, the only other actual Sith that I have, aside from these two, are Asajj Ventress, and I have Count Dooku over there, if you can see him. But I also, literally, because I'm so short, I brought in the Emperor, and you'll see why he's there in a second. That will all make sense eventually with the Stormtroopers. This might actually be a longer video than I expected, but you know what? I think this is cool, and I really want to document this whole battle, so woo! So, they needed reinforcements. This was Anakin and Ahsoka. Anakin and Ahsoka were in the Juggernaut. And so when they crashed, okay, cool, let's go, defend ourselves. And so with Anakin and Ahsoka, sorry, I blanked there. With Anakin and Ahsoka, they had this squad right here. And with Obi-Wan, it was just this guy. And the reason why he's still sitting there is because his legs, it's like basically like a car crash, because they crashed, right? So they were coming this way. And this got driven down into the ground. And so Obi-Wan, because he was driving it, he pulled the speeder this way and tried to do a little curvy stop, but in doing a curvy stop, this one got stuck into the ground, and so he is basically stuck in there, and he's holding a thermal detonator. And so because there's no action going on, there's no way to physically represent it, but in my mind, so he has his gun out, right? And yes, I do have custom guns. I do buy custom guns for my clone troopers from Germany. Like these guys, they have miniguns, and those little minigun parts, they actually spin. It's pretty cool. So he's stuck in there, and he's using you can see the missiles, there's a gun on there, he has a thermal detonator, and he has his own sidearm, and he is just fighting for his life. I like to have all these guys standing up, but I mean, he is stuck in his little sidecar, and he is just mowing down droids. And I mean, obviously, the scale of how many droids are here would probably be multiplied by 4. So, the amount of Mandalorians whom I'm using as bounty hunters is okay, the same. These IG units, probably the same. I mean, one IG-88, one of the bounty hunters, etc. But droids, super battle droids, multiplied by 4. I just don't have that many, I'm sorry. But he's just mowing people down. And so Obi-Wan's standing in front, just kind of deflecting, and these guys were kind of like the backup. Who they were? I mean, they were like 5 minutes away. Um, I don't know. Make up a story for them if you want. I don't. I didn't really actually think about this that hard. So with Obi-Wan, we got these guys who were actually let's go these guys, the red squad and the orange squad, and then Ahsoka. Obi-Wan was out here in the Bark Speeder. This pilot was in the Bark Speeder. Anakin was in the Juggernaut. Mace Windu was not. And then all of these guys, they were all in the Juggernaut, because the Juggernaut can hold like 20 clone troopers, I believe. Because I know the ATOT can hold like 30 or 40 or something crazy like that. And so, obviously, I mean, just to break down what's going on here, this guy's poking out of a little hole, and he's sniping with his little rifle. This guy actually has a full-on sniper rifle. I mean, I would say it's one of my favorite guns, one of the guns I think is the coolest. If this guy did not have this thing, it looks awesome. And yes, if you actually know Star Wars really well, this is not a Phase 1 or a Phase 2. This is an Old Republic trooper. So don't at me. I just think they are really cool, and I mean, they fit nicely. Like, you can't even really tell, right? Standing next to these guys, standing next to the aerials, you can't even really tell. I mean, this guy's a minigun. Look at this. Look at this freaking thing. He has a minigun. It just came like this. I didn't build that. It just came like that. It's awesome. Anyways. So, yeah, these guys are sniping. This guy, there's literally a turret on the top of the Juggernaut, so they're putting that to good use. Anakin's standing up there like, pew, 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 kind of like that one episode in the Clone Wars series where Ahsoka is standing on top, like, just deflecting things. She's standing on the Juggernaut. She's like, we're winning, and then they get surrounded, and it literally blows up. Yeah, kind of like that. But Anakin's up there, and Ahsoka is now on the ground, because my color coordination says she should be here. Yeah, it's a little weird, but I don't know. I think having Anakin up there, especially with Windu guarding probably the most valuable asset that they have, it makes sense. And especially since he's a commander, he could be like, ha. But anyways, so they call for backup immediately. Like, the Juggernaut crashes, and there's like an auto, like, call for backup thing. I don't know. This thing calls it out. Something. Do I still have a driver in there? Hold on. Don't knock anyone over. Is there a driver in there? No. Smart boy. Anyway. So, they call for reinforcements, and the closest reinforcements that they have is at the base. And so at the base, they literally had a strike force already ready to go. They had gunships lined up. They were like halfway here, and they were just kind of like waiting for the go signal, but they heard the emergency signal, and they came running, or rather flying. But our emergency backup was Ki-Adi-Mundi, Mace Windu, and Aayla Secura. That's her name, Aayla Secura. As well as, I don't know why he'd be here, but like, no, I think, whatever. Anyway, so these guys came from the base that they were already stationed at, ready to go, and we have, yes, if you've seen him, the Captain Rex, the actual legitimate Captain Rex Lego, not the fakey boy. I have a fakey boy as well. He's cute. It was a nice, very thoughtful gift from a friend, but that's a fakey boy. Yeah, it's a fakey boy. But this is a real boy. And then we have another 501st Trooper. I wish I had more, but I'm just going with the standard, clone troopers. So that's an episode 1. I have 3 episode 1 clone troopers. And so they're new, but they're episode 1. I think I got these out of a newer pack, probably where I got Ki-Adi-Mundi from. But they're looking really, really fresh. So I put these guys right here. And I have these older classic clone troopers with the, the pauldron. Yeah, the pauldron and the side skirt with the pistols. I think these are the better looking pistols. And I think I might have switched out. Yeah, I switched out Rex's pistols because those are more accurate. Those are the DC-15, I think they're called. No, I think that's the rifle. Those are the pistols that Rex actually uses. But he came like in the set. He came with the ones. I don't know if I have. I'm looking around the oh, these ones. He came with those with the little scopes on top, and I'm like, no, those look weird. And so yes, I did replace the pistols that he uses, but it's more accurate. I'm a fan. It's more accurate. Anyways, so I got a couple of these guys. And I like to think that this is like him, when I didn't actually have a Rex, this was my quote-unquote Captain Rex. Because I had these other guys who could be anyone, and then I had this guy who was my Captain Rex. Just because I wanted one. And I didn't actually have one. I didn't even know that Lego Captain Rexes existed. Like, back when I used to just play with, like, these little dudes. Like, the basics. Like, I used to have just the basics. I used to have these guys. I bought these guys online. These are Utapau troopers. These four. These are airbornes, and these are Utapau troopers. These I've had for a long time. These are bomb squad troopers. Hence the guns that they have. I kept it because I think it's pretty aesthetic. It matches the aesthetic. These are Old Republic, as I said, and these are Geonosis troopers. All four of these guys. These guys came in a set with like I don't have them out, I put them away, but there's little cannons, like tiny little cannons that are supposed to look like the Battle of Christophsis. They're kind of supposed to look like those cannons, but there is a set that I want that has Plo Koon in it with wolf pack troopers, and it has an actual very, very large, and it is very expensive, it's a cannon from the actual Battle of Christophsis, like life size, not life size, but to scale. I think. Anyways, so these guys showed up. Boop boop boop, and they were here to help. So they're having a little meeting with Rex, like, how do we proceed, Captain? Kind of a thing. These guys are so ready to just mow some droids down, with their miniguns, and then there was actually an undercover, not undercover, but a very, a stealth squadron that was already on their way. And I think Yoda and Kit Fisto probably, those are probably some of my favorite Jedi. No, okay, we'll say that, okay. I don't know, I just like them because they're all color coordinated, but also, that's a legit Clone Commander Gree. I have an older version of the Clone Commander Gree who I put my own custom little weapon on because, I don't know, I think he was my favorite. He was, for the longest time, my favorite clone ever. But now I have Mr. Silverface Clone Commander Gree, and ooh boy, does he look awesome. And the only reason I'm not putting him in this battle as well is just for continuity, really. But anyways, so these are all Kashyyyk troopers, and I believe I have these guys, and are there no aerial? No. So it's just these two and these two were from a set for Kashyyyk troopers, and I believe the rest of these three came from other things. I think one of them probably came from this set, one of them came from something else, one of them came from something else. And I believe this guy also came with my anyways, whatever. So I have Kit Fisto. I have a lot of camo boys. I have Yoda himself, Luminara Unduli, Barriss Offee. I don't think that's Chewbacca. I think that is all my other Wookiees I put away. I think that's a captain or something. I don't know. And then some random dude, Phase 1, and then him. I don't know what he did. But anyways. So they're all sneaky boys. And so now now that we've covered the basics, I haven't even touched this side yet, and this is such a long video. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyways, so we have our attack squadron number 1 gonna come in, wreck some face here, which is like, this is like the most dangerous little strip, and then we have like the basics, and then we have the guardians of this building, and then that thing, obviously. So these are our reinforcements. They're gonna figure out how to, how best to attack. So we have some Jedi. They're probably gonna come up and follow these guys. These guys are our first line, and then these guys are basically just holding the line. They're like, shooting over the bark speeder and whatnot. And then these guys are our stealthy boys. I'm just gonna pretend that these guys can't see them, because I mean, in my head, this is like a lot bigger than just like, oh yeah, we're all standing next to each other. But, and so these dopes, he's looking at his gun, that guy's looking that way, he can't see anything. But then, the captain of this little squad with his silver arm sees these guys. And so these guys were going to be our stealthy little ninjas who were going to come up, and because, I mean, look how many Jedi there are. There's no way that you can really stop that. And so they were going to come out and then just best the guards and waltz right up to see what was happening in here. But what they don't know is the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Count Dooku, is waiting for them on the other side on the steps. So that's, kind of an interesting confrontation. So that's the whole story. And so these guys, right? They already had this, as I said, this was already here. The base was already here. They had STAPs, STAPs, they were already here. The droidica, like this whole droid army was just kind of in the back, like waiting, as reserve. They have droids everywhere. They just have them as reserve. This is like a specialty little, cute little boy, spider droid. I had an older one that uses like the bodies of, I don't know why my voice is cracking so much, the bodies of droids as like feet. No, I totally dismembered it because I got this guy who is so much more cooler. So yeah, I have droidicas, I have super battle droids, I have B1s, I have a spider droid, I have a commander, I have this guy. There's always that one guy. Anyway, so Dooku is like, oh yes, my apprentice, Asajj Ventress. You should come with me to my secret base where I am the apprentice to, Mr. Ugly Pants. And she's like, okay, sure. So I have Asajj Ventress surrounded by, assassin droids. That's right, assassin droids. None of them have swords. I really wish the Legos came with swords, because that was probably the coolest part of assassin droids. But anyways, so we got Asajj Ventress. We got a bunch of assassin droids. Like there's more, back there. Then we got Mandalorians. There we go. So we got some Mandalorians, just some basic like this guy's got a rocket launcher. This guy, a little custom, I don't know. This guy was like my head honcho, because he had the cool little gun. I don't know. It's like a rifle. And then this guy has a minigun. Pardon the dog hair and dust. It's literally so dusty. Then there's another guy with a minigun. We got more IG units, and then we have the thick boys. Like, if Asajj Ventress gets beaten and has to run away, we have these guys. Like, they already killed, I think these two, or no, it was Darth Maul by himself. I mean, anyways, you guys know the history of Star Wars. They're powerful. So, I don't know why these guys have different eye colors, but it's like orange, dark orange, and then we have red. Like, you gonna die, buddy. So, I don't know. Anyway, so IG units, this guy has a rifle, as opposed to like the little pistol boys. So they both have axes, and Darth Maul has a double axe with a double-bladed lightsaber, and then Savage Opress, double-bladed lightsaber with a whole bunch of dust on his head, and the one axe blade with the spear. And then this, if you guys know, that is Forlom, and that is Dengar. I got these in a bounty hunter pack, and it's awesome. That is Bosk, and this is a sniper droideka. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was like the Geonosis episode, and they stand on top of towers. Anyway, they're snipers. STAPs. I already covered all that. And this, if you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels, that you can't see it under his head. Okay, anyway, that's Cad Bane. And then these guys are like the elite Mandalorian. Like they each have like a dark saber with a rifle. These guys are just awesome. They look so cool. And then back here is obviously the one, the only General Grievous with his most trusty sidekick. And that, my friends, is IG-88, who has an awesome little apparatus on his back to carry a rifle and a pistol. And then just more IG units, a couple, assassin droids, a couple battle droids, just for Grievous. If he gets mad, he can chop their heads off. And then in here, I believe I actually put pilot droids. I can't remember the freaking names of them, but they're the blue droids that don't hold guns. They're little pilots. I put them in here. But anyways, the story behind this. So these guys just showed up, like the bounty hunters, the Mandalorians, who are practically bounty hunters. They showed up anyways, or they showed up because they were commissioned. General Grievous came down on a ship, and he's like, "I'm here." And then the Emperor's apprentice is Count Dooku. Count Dooku's apprentice is Asajj Ventress. Asajj Ventress's apprentice is Savage Opress, and then Darth Maul is Savage Opress's brother. And this is obviously Clone Wars Darth Maul because of the legs and the armor on him. And he looks so cool. I love him. Apparently he's worth $24. Okay, this is worth $24. Grievous. Darth Maul's worth $24. Yoda, I believe, is worth 13. I don't know. I could probably I could sell so many of these guys, and it's awesome. It makes me feel so good that I have limited, because I get these when I was a kid. I have 2 Savage Opresses, I have one of each type of Grievous. I have normal Grievous, who I've had for a long time. I bought the original Grievous, who is awesome, and then I got this guy along with that Obi-Wan. I got that Grievous, who's mildly broken out of a set. They were already pre-used, but I got the white Grievous now. So anyways, and yes, that is an original Scout Trooper. That is an OG chrome handle Darth Vader, along with this little replica that I got already in a set. This guy I bought, that guy I bought, that guy I bought. That was a gift to me, the original White Mandalorian. That's a custom boy. He's my favorite. And then that guy's from Clone Wars. I bought them. Anyways. God, this video is getting so long. So what's happening here? They have guards. Those are Magna guards with Count Dooku and his little flames, just because he's extra like that. And then we have black IG units, security units. And then back here, the big part of all of this, so the reason they have Phase 1 and Phase 2 is because they were right amidst the armor transition at this base. Some of these guys were they supplied new armor for some of the clones, because they obviously didn't all just switch how it looks in the Clone Wars episodes. Obviously it took some time to get them all new armor. So the specialty troopers, they get theirs first. Scout troopers, they get theirs first. Pilots, they get theirs. Rex got his, so 501st. And then these guys, just the basic clone troopers, or high specialty, bomb guys who are, they need to do their job and they don't get time to stop and get new armor. Or these guys who are out on patrol, out on a mission, they didn't get new armor. And then they came here. What they didn't know, what they thought was happening was they thought that the Separatist army was creating their own clones. They thought because one of their battalions, one of their recon battalions went missing. So they thought that they were creating new clones. What's actually happening is this is the preamble to Order 66. This is because if you go far enough and if you're knowledgeable enough in Star Wars history and lore and Legends lore, you know that the Emperor was basically controlling both sides. He was controlling the Separatists and the Republic, and they basically wanted to fight each other. Like, he wanted them to fight each other so the Republic would maintain victorious, and then he could transform both sides into the Empire. You know, what, turning clone troopers into stormtroopers and killing off the Jedi. And so him, Mr. Separatist, could, you know, lose. The Separatist army was meant to lose, but he could remain on top because he was, you know, the Emperor with the Separatists, but he was also Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. So what's happening here is this is him attempting to, like, you know, build up a small stormtrooper army. And so they have this little base, he has his own cute little headquarters, and he's talking to Newt Gunray, and there's a couple of Geonosians. You know, he was like, "What's going on here?" And then he's like, "Do not worry, my friend. Everything will come in time." And then this guy's like, "Oh, God, I wish I had a coffee." And these guys are like, "Man, this kind of sucks. Yeah, this new Emperor, not the best. I don't know, 5 out of 10. These guys are like, "Oh, look at my new armor. I am so cool." Anyway, so that's what's going on here. That is the story of this ginormous and very, very packed battle scene. I did not think it was going to take this long to talk about everything. I rambled, and I apologize that I do ramble. But basically what's going on, stormtroopers, the Emperor, this is the Emperor's secret base. He's making stormtroopers as like a, you know, to see how they work, to see, you know, price, production, make his own private army, so when Order 66 happens, he has his own brainwashed army to just go kill people. And then he obviously still has control of the droid army and everything like that, but like when he loses support from bounty hunters, if that happens, or, you know, separatist controlled worlds, if that happens, then he has a stormtrooper army. And these guys found it out and are about to raid the absolute crap out of them. And, you know, little divide, kind of like a, you know, set hike, and then they all just converge. But yeah, I don't know, it was a very long video, I apologize, but I just wanted to document probably one of the coolest battles that I've ever made. I don't know how to end these things. Thank you so much for watching, and if you watched till the end, you're awesome, and you should probably go do something else with your life, because this was a very long video. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.